Hello everyone, welcome back to Garden Fever. I'm Corey LaFever, your host. Today I'm coming to you from northern Utah in the United States. Today I got a pretty cool episode for you, at least I think so. I think most people out there might find this pretty interesting, so I wanted to share it with you. But today we're going to be talking not so much about the plant itself, but how they communicate. And yes, you heard me right, how they talk to each other. And they don't do it in the way we do. But just like most creatures on Earth, they send signals. There's a vast network of communications that are being done underground in the soil. So fungus acts as a middleman to other plants, and underneath the ground, unknowing to us humans, is a vast city of microorganisms and beneficial fungi, all communicating with each other, helping each other, competing with each other, alerting each other when insects are attacking them, murdering each other. It's hard to believe unless you understood some of the ways new science and data and studies are showing that they're actually they're talking in a way. They don't send sounds like we do that they hear and have meaning, but their root systems underneath the ground are proving to be sort of like an organic internet, if you will. Although some scientists, obviously it's kind of a new thing, so some scientists are on the fence about it. They think it might be too minuscule to really matter. Personally, I guess if you look at the whole argument when it comes to it, I kind of believe that it does matter, because it matters as you get larger to larger creatures, and it matters all the way down into the microorganisms. Why not? Why wouldn't it? They're part of this one reality too that we are. So, as above is also below, right? While the mushrooms, maybe the most familiar part of the fungus, here's some examples. Most of their bodies are made of vast threads known as mycelium. And I probably butchered that, I apologize, but they act as sort of an underground internet, if you will, linking roots to different plants. For example, your tree in your backyard might be connected to your neighbor's bushes, which in turn are connected to the trees next to it. So there's a network, people, underground, a network that's being formed. The mushroom acts as a middleman and transfers nutrients back and forth. They're also biased because they get a sugar from the roots. They get a type of sugar from the roots, and if one tree is giving off more sugar than the other, they'll favor that tree and give it more nutrients, you see. So there's almost like a city network of different plants and different types of things. And of course that makes sense. When you go down to a microscopic level, it's vast. There's millions of microbes running around down there. So the more we learn about these connections underground, the more we realize they aren't just roots that are growing in the night, but by linking up to each other, they share nutrients, they sabotage unwelcome plants by spreading toxic chemicals throughout their network. There are even studies that suggest that they treat sproutlings that descend from the same tree line or family tree. It suggests they actually consider it and draw less nutrients next to it to share with its family members. How crazy is that? It suggests that they actually consider to draw less nutrients to share with their family members, and at the same time, plants that are on the other side of it that aren't from the same tree, they'll vigorously grow against it and shoot out sprouts to get to the sun first to compete with it. Yeah, how crazy is that? Like the Knapweed releases gases that kill off native grass. At the same time, it makes their roots easier to draw nutrients from. So basically, they're poisoning off their competitors. They listen to signals that their fellow plants warning them that insects are on the move and that they're ramping up their defenses. So basically they're telling their neighbor plants, hey, look, there's some insects coming through here. You better start excreting your defenses or putting off your defenses. People, when you inhale the smell, like here's a good example, when you smell freshly cut grass, that's actually what you're smelling is the SOS from from the grass to each other. They're telling each other that, hey, look, something's happening, you know. And so what does this mean for us gardeners? What can we learn from this, and how do we benefit from knowing this? Well, I think a lot. It's been the custom to till your yard every year. It loosens the topsoil, makes it easy for your plants to spread their roots. But I ask you, what is this doing to the millions of microorganisms and networks going on underneath the ground? Don't get me wrong, everyone. It has definitely been proven that upturning or tilling your soil can be very healthy every once in a while. However, we do it all the time, every single year, year after year. Is this really the best way to create healthy topsoil? By tilling it every year? And in a lot of cases, especially in mass farming, we're leaving it exposed to the sun. We're just tilling it and upturning it, and then it's just exposed to the sun's radiation. We flood it to flood crops, one seed every so often that we plant. This isn't efficient. It waters down the nutrients. The sun kills the microorganisms. This is Armageddon to microorganisms. Now, every once in a while, slight disturbances to the soil is healthy. I just believe that we're doing it too much. That's the view. My view is that we just need to slow down on that and give it a chance to heal. They need time to make these connections. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. So we have to give the ground a break from growing, and we have to replenish nutrients. We have to put compost in it, and we have to protect it. We have to literally give it kind of a shelter. It's important, and we shouldn't till it all the time. We should every once in a while, slight disturbances. For all these, because it takes time for these plants to create these networks, for all these organisms to create living soil. Maybe slight disturbances are better than tilling it all the time, is all I'm saying. Only to be, that's what happens with mass farming. They have to fertilize all the time because the topsoil is eroding. They can't keep up with it. You can't have perfectly good harvests every year and use that system. It's not sustainable, is the bottom line. Not in the long run. We're ruining our topsoil. So all we really need to do is let nature take its course. Let it do its own thing. All we got to do is help it along. Give it slight disturbance, aerate it, move it around, add compost every once in a while, but be gentle. Think about it. It's an entire network of living things that are just so small that we don't consider them. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring that to everyone's attention. For those who I thought it might be interesting to share. I appreciate your time, and thanks everyone for your feedback and your time. Till next time, let's make the world a paradise, 1 yard at a time. I'm Corey LaFever. This is Garden Fever. Till next time.